Welcome to the bold analysis. Where is Cate Waruguru? The Laikipia women rep lost in the UDA nominations, but would later resurface saying that after a closed-door meeting with Deputy President William Ruto, she was absorbed in this elusive presidential campaign team. And so, to many people, because she's a politician who is not seeking any elective seat in this election, she's one of the figures that she's one of the leaders that is expected to be in all the Kenya Kwanza rallies, especially the nationwide rallies. However, she's been conspicuously missing. Even though we understand that Cate Waruguru do not see eye with Moses Kuria, but Moses Kuria is in the presidential team. So what exactly is going on? And as this question was pondering, I bumped on this clip here, where Cate Waruguru was campaigning in Laikipia for deputy president after the UDA nominations, especially even after the running mate was picked. And she declined to campaign for the UDA candidates, directly to endorse UDA candidates. And it's understandable because, according to her, she did not lose the nominations, but she was rigged out. And that is why Deputy President decided to sit down with her and handed her a nomination slot in the National Assembly when UDA, so that she can remain in the UDA. That has not been laid officially whether the list has been submitted, because political parties are also expected to submit the list of the leaders that shall be nominated to the National Assembly after the general election. That list is supposed to be submitted before the election, and it has not yet confirmed. Of course, we will find out whether the timeline has passed or whether that list had been taken. So what was happening is Cate Waruguru delivered some very bad news to Deputy President William Ruto in what was seen as not really endorsing Azimio, but saying that the Azimio leadership in Laikipia are more organized and most likely they are going to sweep elective seats. She's indirectly, or rather let's say she's directly discrediting the six-piece call by Gachagua at the UDA party. Listen to Cate Waruguru.
Sasa hapa mashinani hiyo maneno yenu ya suti mimi sioni. Tutasikilizana chini ya Kenya Kwanza kwa kiti ya William Ruto hapa juu. Lakini hapa chini tutazungumza na tutaongea hapa mashinani. Mimi nilikuwa naombea Irongo kura hadharani. Wangapi walinisikia? Mkono juu hapa. Irongo ule ndiye mtu ya kwanza kunisaliti, kunipiga, kunifanya vituko na kuniibia kura. Namwachia Mwenyezi Mungu. Irongo, Kenywa, Kagiri, Dedi. Hapo mashinani tunawaangalia. Lakini Ruto, kama hao watu ndio utakuwa unategemea hapa, wewe jua utapangwa na Azimio na Laikipia. Kwa sababu Azimio wao wamejipanga. Azimio wako na umoja. Azimio watafunguliwa pesa ya serikali. Hao watu wa UDA ni kiburi tupu tu kila mahali. Niko na tikiti hata anagojea kuapisha. Lakini mtu asijifiche nyuma ya koti ya Ruto. Wewe ule utaona anafaa governor patia kura. Ule utaona senator anafaa pe kura. MP ule utaona pe kura. Because you cannot be a product and a result of fraudulent party primaries. And yet you want to come and impose yourself on people, insult them, abuse them, and look down on us and reduce us to be tubocrats and people who can only vote for an individual because of 200 shillings.
In that tone, why do you think UDA leaders in Mount Kenya that are relying on the UDA euphoria, rather the UDA wave there, most likely will find it very difficult to win if they face a very clean and conscious election against the Azimio fellows? But I want to confine myself a bit to Central Kenya and specifically Laikipia, because in the same Laikipia, Mwangi Kiunjuri is vying for parliamentary seat there, Laikipia East, with the UDA candidate, and now even Cate Waruguru was supposed to be that race, but she lost in the nominations. Today, the very day, I realized that there is a current push, and I think it's a current narrative that is being developed by the Azimio team, that whenever Rigathi Gachagua speaks, William Ruto loses seats or loses votes. And that was done, I think this has been said by Charity Ngilu, the Kitui governor, and also Nakuru counterpart Lee Kinyanjui. The issue of 6-piece is really creating some trouble within the UDA, or rather within the Kenya Kwanza. So this is some of the things that are happening, and Cate Waruguru is simply saying that do not just depend on UDA's euphoria. I can't agree anymore with that. And in this analysis, I want to agree with that leaders that want to depend on party euphoria most likely are not going to find it easy. Even in the areas of Nyanza, be it Mombasa, Rift Valley, where the parties are enjoying popularity, then you think because of popularity of the party, you can easily win. You may be surprised if in Nandi, Alfred Keter wins the seat there against the UDA candidate. Back in my county in Siaya, you might be surprised if Orengo loses that governor seat to Gumbo, or even Homa Bay, where Evans Kidero can win against party stalwart Gladys Wanga. So these are issues that are playing out. But in this, I want to look at specifically why the UDA euphoria in central Kenya doesn't have the perceived threshold to guarantee a candidate a win. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and also give us your feedback on the best, whether party in this election, political party popularity will help to propel their candidates. There is something that aspirants from Mount Kenya must appreciate. Not all those who won through UDA were popular. They won, their aspirants of UDA because they were winners of the UDA nominations. They must never forget that the turnout at the nominations, and this goes across, you should never forget that the turnout at the nomination was 5%, to some areas 2% of registered number of voters. At some areas 10% of registered number of voters. That is a sample that you cannot use to gauge your own popularity. That should have been a waking call to those aspirants that the party politics might not be at stake, especially in some look like 50-50 counties. For example, Laikipia. Laikipia has Azimio is very strong there, and UDA is very strong there. So in some areas where, especially in Mount Kenya, where the UDA nominations were poorly attended, you cannot and you should not depend on that for you to mount your campaigns. Number two, the aspirants that are seeking elective seats, MP, Senate, Women Rep, and MCAs, must be very cautious, because for the first time, independent candidates are going to give them a run for their money. And most importantly, these independent candidates at some point, they belong to a political party, and they walked out of those parties because they felt they were shortchanged. So even the presidential aspirants are keen to the fact that they are independent candidates who are very popular. So what I mean, that presidential candidates are going to embrace independent candidates in swing areas. Example is Laikipia. Ruto will not go there to hit a 6-piece and say vote for UDA candidates, knowing that really the independent candidate might be strong. And the reason why this is needed is the presidential ballot doesn't need to suffer what is known as voter apathy. So the person that is normally affected, the ballot box that is affected by voter apathy is the presidential ballot, because that is a national tally. But for the member of parliament, it doesn't matter even if 30,000 people go and vote and you just need a majority win. But for the presidential ballot, not just a majority win, but 50+1. And also you must win, I think you must get more than 25% in more than 24 counties out of the 47. So for the presidential threshold, they may have a soft spot for independent candidates. But then Jubilee candidates are being facilitated. So especially Mount Kenya, where President Uhuru Kenyatta was already facing some rebellion there, and he had promised them that he's not so mean, he's going to support them. That means that they might have an upper hand, and with the support of the government, their campaigns are well oiled. But what I think is going to dent the hopes of the candidates, UDA candidates, especially in Mount Kenya, or rather in Laikipia, is internal sabotage by nomination losers. Just what is happening. Cate Waruguru literally has refused to campaign for UDA candidates, while what maybe the party will expect is her coming out to vouch for party aspirants. But she has done that because they feel sabotaged, and most of them do not have hope on maybe the promises that the party structures have given them, maybe these nomination slots, whether they will be given, and they really feel like party sabotaged them. So what they need to do is to sabotage the party, and sabotaging the party is making sure that those aspirants who win in the nominations do not. And the internal sabotage is there because there are some candidates that have ambitions. For example, a governor, someone won in a governor aspirant, and there is an incumbent. Someone who lost in the nomination will be most likely comfortable if the incumbent governor goes on, serves the second term, so that in 2027, the person who is eyeing that governor seat will not be going against incumbency. All of them will be new in the race. Unlike in governor, like in Nakuru, when Susan Kihika wins that seat, for you to come and seat her as an incumbent, you really need to do a lot of work. But if you want to be a governor in Nakuru, you'd rather support Lee to finish. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my analysis, and you can also give us your feedback.